What up, YouTube family? In this video, I'm going to share with you guys 5 character traits that I should say that I acquire or that I did that helped me become a millionaire at the age of 32. Now, I'm not 32 anymore. I'm 40, but I'm going to share with you guys exactly what that is. And it's not what you think. I'm not a book reader. I don't read books. I don't meditate. All right. And I don't read books, I don't meditate, and I don't go to the gym, right? Well, I mean, I do go to the gym now, but it wasn't going to the gym. I know some people say, hey, it was working out, meditation, cold dip, and all cold plunge, all of that. I didn't do any of that. So I'm going to share with you exactly what's the 5 characteristic, all right, traits that I have that helped me become a millionaire at the age of 32. So comment in and let me know if you have these 5. If you don't, come on, man. Shit, bro. You better get on it. Number 1 is that, I don't read books, but I think what really helps me is that I start to watch a lot of YouTube video. So I'm more like, I'm not a reader because I'm not good at reading. So even though I read, but I won't understand, right? So I'm more of the audio. So I went on YouTube. So instead of listening to, I used to drive and I used to listen to, Vietnamese music, Chinese music, right? But instead, I started to supplement those with a self-help book, audio book. So, for example, Think and Grow Rich is one of them. Think and Grow Rich is one of them. The other one is by I listen to a lot of Jim Rohn. So what I do is I go on YouTube and I just punch in Jim Rohn and I just start listening to all his stuff. Napoleon Hill stuff, I start to listen to all of his stuff. Once again, I don't read books. I just listen to audios. That's how I learn, right? So for some of us, we're visual. For other, we're more hands-on. And, for some of you, you love opening a book and you love reading. It's just not me. So that's number 1. So for those of you, if you haven't listened to like Think and Grow Rich, I highly recommend that you do so, because that's the audio book that really shape and change my life. Like, it's starting to open me up. Like, let me know that anything is possible, whatever the mind can conceive and believe it can achieve. So basically your thoughts dictate your action and your action dictates your results. So whatever you're feeding into your mind, eventually, if you hold that goal long enough and you think about it day and night, I mean, obsess, you got to be obsessed over the goal. And if you can hold it in here, you can hold it right here, my friend. Which means you like, hey, Khang, man, if I can make $20,000 a month or $30,000 a month, all right? Or, hey, man, there's this car that I really want, or there's this house that I really want to buy, but I need to make X amount to be able to afford it. And if you keep on thinking it long enough, eventually it'll come to reality. But you got to be obsessed, right? So Lon and I, since the age of 20, we've been obsessed with, man, becoming financially free, becoming a millionaire, and make a boatload of money, man. Okay. So number 2 is that I take action. I learn not to procrastinate. I learn not to put things off. I learn not to say, I'll do it tomorrow, because tomorrow will be the next day and the next day might be never. All right. So I learned to take action right away. And I noticed that most self-made millionaires or successful people, they take action. So for me, it's like when I think of an ideas of something I want to do, I don't sit on it. I don't think, I don't contemplate. I don't go and dissect, and I don't do super research. So for those of you who don't know who Lon is, Lon's the wifey. Lon is, on the other hand, if she wants to do something, she gets analytical. I guess that's the word. And let me know if I used the word wrongly. But Lon go and she analyze. She do a bunch of research before she actually pull the trigger. For me, on the other hand, dude, I just pull the trigger. And then I just learn from my mistake, right? I make a bunch of mistakes, and then I just keep moving forward. So you got to be an action taker, my friend. Don't procrastinate. A lot of, if you want to do something, do it now. Whatever needs to be done today should already be done yesterday. So if you wait until tomorrow, you already behind the 8 ball. And some of you, man, you got good ideas, but you're just waiting for the perfect time when you got the money or when the right person come into your life, and you will forever be waiting, my friend. waiting. All right. So number 2 is you got to become an action taker. And, people said, this business is saturated. That business is saturated. A bunch of people is getting into wholesaling, so competitive. Let me tell you something, man. It's all a bunch of noise. Okay. Just a bunch of noise. Okay. Majority of the people that actually talks about it, get into it, they'll quit in the next 30 days. So you might hear a lot of people talk about it, but not a lot of doer. Do they actually go out there and take action and actually putting in the work and stay committed? Majority of don't. Okay. So number 2 is I am an action taker. Okay. Number 3 is that I guess the word is I look at a glass of water instead of half empty is half full. So I'm always about on the positive side. For example, let's just say that I lost 25K on a deal. So instead of dwelling on it, I don't. But I also believe that you got to recognize your mistake, right? I recognize my mistake, but I don't dwell on it. I don't beat myself over it. I just shake it off and I be like, hey, you know what? Maybe that happens for a reason. Maybe the person that actually got this deal needed that 25K more than me. So it helps me move on and move forward. Like I don't dwell on my misfortune. I don't dwell on my losses. I recognize my loss. Like I don't want you to be like you need to recognize your loss because you need to learn from your mistake, but you also don't want to dwell on it. All right. So I guess more like, I don't know what the word is, but be more on the positive instead of the negative, right? People will be like, oh man, this person comes and steal the deal away from me, this and that. And for me, I choose to believe that everything happens for a reason. And if I don't get the deal, it's because it meant for somebody else, not for me. Maybe I lose on the 25K deal because if I were to get that deal, it would have been worse for me. You know what I'm saying? So if I were you, dude, look optimistic. Yes. That's the word. Thank you so much. Optimistic. All right. Just look on the better side. Because if you look on the bad side, it's hard for you to move forward. And if you keep on looking at the rear, oh my God, this is what happened when you go live. You can't cut and edit this shit. So when you keep on looking at the rear shit, you guys know what I'm talking about, right? If you keep on looking behind you, it's hard for you to actually move forward, right? So you keep on looking what's in front of you. Okay. So that's number 3. But in between, let me take some questions. Okay. Number 4, okay, let me just point out number 4 is that I own up to my responsibilities, right? I own up to my own shit. If an employee is not performing, if they're not doing good, it's my fault, right? And I think a lot of people, what they do is they rather blame the other people. They rather blame the circumstances. They rather blame, the government. They rather blame like inflation, like they rather blame all these stuff instead of blaming themselves. If you're not where you want it to be right now, you got to own up that you're the one who puts yourself there, regardless of whatever happens to you, regardless of someone scam you. Well, you make the decisions to do business with that person, right? You made the decisions to be where you are. Because by only doing so, by owning up and by taking responsibilities, okay, you know that you have the power, that you're in control, that you can change and shape your future. Because if you're just blaming on that person, you're giving the power to them. Well, if they would have done this, I would have been this. You know what I'm saying? And you can't change what other people do. You can only control you and what you can do from now on. Make sense? So a lot of you need to own up to your shit, whether it's good or whether it's bad. If it's good, it's on you, man. And if it's bad, it's also on you. All right? So don't blame anybody. Like, if you get into a partnership deal and that person scams you and cheat you, it's okay. Shake it off. Because you got to think of it like it's a lesson that you need to learn. So instead of losing on $1 million deal, because you need to learn that lesson so you don't lose on a $10 million in the future. Make sense? So don't blame. Just recognize that, okay, you know what? I made a bad decisions. I didn't do my research and I got into this partnership, or hey, I got this deal, etc. And then boom, I'm not going to do that in the future. Make sense? I hope that makes sense. I know, see, I'm a high school dropout and English is my second language. So it's hard for me to articulate, right, what's in here, like sometime into word, so you guys can understand. It's hard sometimes, because my vocab is very limited, and that's, you know, and I say that is because I want you guys to think like, man, if Khang can achieve this success or this level, then I can too. I'm smarter than him or whatever. Like I'm sure majority of you are probably way smarter than I am. It's just that I'm more of a hustler. I just take massive action. What other questions? Let me take some question in between here, and I'll tell you guys number 5. Okay, Angel said, Khang, do you deal with agents? Why do you recommend off market over on market? Angel, this is a good question, man. I do deal with agent, man. But what I'm saying is that, you know, if you were to spend an hour a day making offer to property that are on the MLS, to me, I think your time is better spent by pulling a list and targeting these sellers where you deal directly with the seller. Because when you deal with a realtor, here are some things that you're going to come into. Like here's some issue that you're going to run into. Number 1 is realtor. They want proof of funds, and they only give you a window of maybe 10 to 15 days to inspect the property. So unless you have buyers already in place and you know your market really, really well, and majority of you, if you're new into the game, you don't know your market really well. So you need 30 to 60 days, right? And also too is they expect you to put at least 1% of the purchase price, whatever price that is agreed upon. They expect you to put 1% of that as an earnest money deposit. So typically, you know, on $100,000, so if we do 100,000, 1%, so they will want $1,000. Now, if you're in a market where the house is 300,000, 1% of that is 3,000, right? And a lot of you don't have 1,000 to put down as an earnest money deposit. You don't have 3,000. You don't have 5,000. You don't have 10,000. And when you're dealing directly with seller, no agent involved, dude, most sellers don't know that there is such thing as an earnest money deposit. So you can put whatever you want on the contract. You can put $10. You can put $5. You can put $1. And seller, they don't ask for proof of funds. So you don't have to worry about that obstacle. All right. So you don't have to worry about getting proof of funds. Okay. And it's just better when it's just that when you're dealing with, like, back in 2000, I would say back in 2010, 2011, 2012, when you trying to like find on-market deals, there's plenty. In today's age, I'm not saying there isn't any, it's just rare. And your time spending, and then when you make an offer, you already know, dude, there's hundreds of other investors that are probably already seen that deal. So it's hard for you to get under contract. Makes sense? At a good deal enough as a wholesaler for us to make sense. Now, if you're a fix and flipper, I think it's an easier game, right? So if you get the money, if you want to be if you want to buy, fix and flip, it's an easier game, man. You don't need to learn, like, but also too is what's easy is actually not what's good for you. So let me explain. So most house flipper, they don't know how to go out there and find their own deals. They rely on, realtor, and they rely on wholesaler. So they would submit, offer to things that are on market, right? But when things start to dry up, they don't know how to go out there and find their own deals. And when they don't know how to wholesale, they also miss out on the opportunity of, like, for example, how many houses can you buy, fix, and flip in a month? There's a cap because you only have X amount of dollars. How do I know this? Well, when I started my real estate career about 12 years ago, I started as a fix and flipper, and I can only buy so much, right? And then all these opportunities that was coming at me, I would have just turned them down. I said, no, no, no. I'm tied up. Check back with me in a month, right? I would have wholesaler, I would have realtor that bring me deals, but I said, dude, I'm already tied up with 3 flip. I don't have any more money, right? I'm tap out. So I'm turning away all these opportunity. But if I would have knew what I knew today, guess what I would have done? I would have put that property in a contract, and I would have called one of my investor friend up, and I'd be like, hey, dude, I just got this deal, but I'm working on 3 flip right now, bro. Right? Hey, if you want it, I can assign the contract over to you. Boom, sell the contract over to them and make a quick 20 to 25K. So while I'm fixing my property up, I could have made an extra 20, 25K a month. No problem. Right? As a realtor, same thing. Right? Most realtor don't know how to wholesale. So guess what most realtor do? Most realtor will go and talk to the seller, and they want to list their market on the property, right? List the property on the market. But there are some seller that don't want to list their property on the market. But as an agent, right, the seller will be like, hey, I just want to sell to an investor. I just want to get a cash offer, and I don't want to list my property because maybe they don't want their friends and family to see the condition that they live in. Because, dude, you be shocked. Some of these homeowner, man, their house is hoarder. It's just nasty, poop all over. It's just, dude, I went and saw it's probably one of the most disgusting house I've ever seen, man. There was literally poop, dude, all over, on the floor, on the wall, on the ceiling, on the kitchen counter. That's how they live. And don't ask me how people live like that, but there are people out there that live like that. And they don't want, that picture to be all over the internet for their friends and family to see. Nobody wants to show their scar. So these agents, what they do is, because they don't know how to wholesale, so what they do is they call their investor up. They'll be like, hey, Ron, dude, I just got this, I just came in contact with this homeowner, man. They don't want to list their property, but they're in distress. So, and their house needs a lot of work, man. And they just want to receive a cash offer from an investor. Do you want to make an offer on it? So Ron, right, my investor would make an offer on it. I would present it to the seller. And as an agent, you only make between, I would say 3 to 6%. All right. But typically it's like 2.5 to 5%. But let's just say even at 6%, at 6%, you would, on a $300,000 minus 6%, you get $18,000. Sounds really good, right? You make $18,000. And I'm saying that's like 6%, but most agent is 2.5%. So on a $300,000 at 300,000, minus 2.5%, dude, you get 7,000. It's $7,500. But instead, you could have put that property in a contract for, let's just say, for 300,000. You know that the property is going to worth about 500K once it's fixed up. So instead of making 7,500, I would have locked the property in a contract at $300,000. I would have told the seller, hey, you know what, Ron? Oh, I'm sorry, Bob. Let's say it's Bob. I said, hey, Bob. You know what? I'm not beside an agent. I'm also an investor. I work with a couple buddies. We also buy houses. We flick them. We rehab them. We keep them as a rental, or we go and we resell them after we rehab it. I would have loved to buy this property as an investor. So you lock it up on a contract for $300,000. So you take your realtor hat off, you put on your investor hat, and you be like, hey, I'll buy it for $300,000. And then you call one of your investor client up, and instead of just making $7,500, you'll be like, hey, I just got this property in a contract. It's such a good deal, and I don't want to, I got a lot of stuff on my plate. I don't want to buy it. Hey, I will sell to you for $325. So instead of making $7,500, dude, now you're making $25,000 off the exact same deal. You already spend the money, the time trying to find these leads, right? Why don't you maximize it? Make the most you can from it. Most realtors don't know that. All right. They always think agent. Oh, I'm gonna make that 2% commission, that 5% commission. Dude, sometimes you got to think outside the box. And how can I make the most I can on this deal? And that's how you do it. So instead of calling your investor up and have them make an offer, and they're the one who's making all the money, dude, why don't you get a piece of the pie? And ask me how I know this. I still got 3 realtors that will bring me off-market deal. It's called pocket listing. So they'll be like, hey, Khang, you want to make an offer on this? I'll be like, hell yeah, dude. I'll make an offer on it. So if you work with realtor, here's my advice to you. Is when they tell you to make an offer, do you want to make an offer? Never say no. Never say no. Always said, okay, send it over. I love to make an offer on it. Regardless of whatever the offer is. Even if it's a low offer. The agent want to know that you're active, that you're looking to buy. And obviously, we're not going to buy, right? But you want to make an offer on every single deal they sent to you. So to them, it's almost like, hey, you know what? Khang is looking for deals, but it's just that the number hasn't made sense to him. So you gotta be making offer, man. Every single one of them that they send over to you. Okay? But if I was an agent, I would add wholesaling to my toolbox. So which means you gotta see, and this is why I did a video and I was explaining that your guys' problem is not that inflation. Your problem is that you haven't increased your skill set. You know, inflation has increased the past 5 to 10 years, but your skill set has remained the same. So for those of you who worry about inflation, dude, you just need to increase your skill set. And once you increase your skill set and you can make 20, because once you increase your skill set, your income will automatically increase. Trust me, you're not going to care about inflation when you're making 20, 30, 50, $100,000 a month. Like when I go and I pump gas, I really don't even look at the gas price. I really don't look at how much I just pay for gas. And when I go to the grocery store, I really don't look at how much I pay for stuff. Lon does, but I get to the Lon is just a habit, right? She's on top of it, but I'm not. Okay. This guy's full. Let me see here. Angel again. Khang, what other method do you use to give seller a price other than your typical ARV minus da-da-da-da? So Angel, I mean, it depends on what market you're in, but typically, dude, I always go with that formula, dude. ARV minus 30%. In my market, I'll be like ARV minus 20%, minus repair, minus whatever I want to make, and then that's my offer to the seller. So I typically go with the formula. What other question you guys got? Oh yeah, so let me answer some question that's on Instagram, okay? So on Instagram, someone comment and say, well, you know, Khang make it sound so easy, but wholesaling is hard. Dude, any business that can make you a lot of money is hard. But if you rather choose to do only the easy stuff, you'd be like, hey, if working for someone is easy for you, if getting a paycheck every single 2 weeks is easy for you, if, you know, going to your boss and asking for time off is easy for you, if you're sick, but you still got to go into work because you run out of sick leave and vacation is easy for you, then do that. Stick to the J-O to B. Do what you think if you only choose to do what is easy, then do that. But don't ever whine and complain like a little bitch. That's all I got to say. You see, tough time makes strong people. If you want to be a snowflake, then continue to do what's easy. It's easy to sit at home and not go to the gym, but then you're going to get fat and ugly, right? So if you're the person who'll be like, hey, you only want to do what's fun, what's easy, then I can almost promise and guarantee you, your life is a mess. You probably owe a bunch of credit card debts. You're behind on your bills. If you only choose to do what's fun and easy, it's easy to go on vacation. Everybody wants to have fun. You know what I'm saying? But if you want to make a lot of money, dude, Dude, it's going to be a grind. It's going to be a battle. It's going to be hard. But I can almost promise you, if you do what is hard, you go to the gym, you work out, it's hard. But bro, you be in the best shape, best health ever, right? So if you do what's hard, dude, life will be easy. You right? So if you eat good, if you eat healthy, you go to the gym, then you're not going to see the doctors often. Make sense? So if you're willing to grind on the weekend when no one will, then one day you'll be partying on, like every day will be a Friday to you. Every day will be the same. Every day will be a Friday. You're your own boss. You control your own schedule. You control your own destiny. Like I tell people all the time, if you want to do what you love, you must be willing to do what you hate. And most of you do, you don't want to do what's hard. You only want to do what's easy. And that's why you're a snowflake. You're a softie. And that's why that's why you're not where you want it to be in life. But instead of choosing to change, you choose to whine and complain like a little bitch. But don't complain to me, man. I ain't got, like, nobody can help you, man. It's you who can get yourself out of whatever situation that you don't want to be in. Okay. Break said, do you recommend looking at lower ARV area first for reference? I'm in Bellevue. Should I am Kent, Renton, or look at higher ARV around me? The answer is I would go in Kent and Renton. Bellevue is where all the rich people live, man. I'm not saying that there's no deals in Bellevue, but I would go to Kent and Renton first. So I would go in a cheaper area first. What other question you guys got? Let me see here. Let me see what other questions. I discovered you a few years back, and you'll help me get my first deal. Hell yeah, let's go, baby. After self-reflecting, I figured out I didn't want it bad enough after I got my first deal. Looking to jump back in what's changed. Maurice, well, first off, I want to say welcome back into the game. And I think a lot of people, what they do is that a lot of times people don't want it as bad as they think they do. You know? Like you don't want as bad as you think you do. Because people only want it when it's easy, when it's convenient. Like they will only do things if it's easy and convenient. Like everybody wants the good life. Oh man, I wish, man, I want to be able to make $30,000 a month, $100,000 a month. But that's when your goal that's when things start to challenge you, and you realize if you want it bad enough. Because when you want it bad enough, you're willing to do whatever it takes, whatever it's required first. Like everything, like your goals become your priority. So which means you're like, hey, I'm gonna skip out on the weekend partying, and I'm gonna stay at home and I'm gonna call. Because you realize that, this is not the life that you want. This is the life that you want. You want to be able to wake up whenever you want, do whatever you want, with whoever the F you want, wherever you want. So you're like, I don't care about these, party on the weekend and then Monday going back to the J or the B. So you're like, hey, I'm willing to make the sacrifice because this is the dream life that I'm going for. And you know that this dream life is worth way more than the current one. So you're willing to sacrifice the current life for your future life. And how do you know that? Like, how do you know that you want it that bad? Is when you're being challenged. When you see your friends and family going on vacation, but you're sitting here calling and you have no envy. You're not even jealous of them. And you don't even envy their life. Because you'll be like, you know what? They have it might look fun to them, but Monday, they're going to be whining and complaining like a little bitch because they're going to go back to the J or the B. Guess how I know? See, when Lon and I was living in a shed behind a mobile home park, I was driving around a 1997 Honda Accord, dude, beat up over 200,000 miles on it. And my friends were, new cars, partying, clubbing, going on vacation all the time. Lon and I, we didn't envy and jealous at all. We weren't. We were here just like grinding away because we like, dude, one day, every day will be a Friday. Every day will be Christmas. Lon is like, she order Amazon shit every day now. And we're like, dude, that is the life I want. I don't want this like, oh, party a little bit, go on a week vacation, and then come back to a J.O. to B. Dude, when we go on a vacation now, we stay as long as we want. We do whatever the effort we want. All right? Just like we went to Hawaii. Lon didn't want to go back, so she canceled her flight. Rebook. Cancel her flight the second time. Rebook and stay longer. The only reason why we came back is because Lon missed all the dogs. For those of you who don't know, we have 4 dogs, man, and Lon just loves them. Love them. Well, she loved 3 of them. The other one, not so much. But that's the life that we want. So when we see them do this, we're like, shh, it wasn't even appealing. That's pretty much it. We look at them, we're like, dude, we feel bad for them. We're like, dude, they're going to pay for this shit until they're 65. They're going to work for someone until they're 65 because the path that they choose. And here we are. And they're still grinding away at the J.O. to B. But dude, welcome back into the game, man. And I think a lot of times people that close their first deal and then they stop and then they don't, it's hard for okay, closing your first deal is already hard. But now how can you start closing one deal consistently every single month? And my advice to you is that you need to take that money and start putting it back into whatever is working for you. So if driving for dollar helped you get your first deal, continue to do more of it. And maybe now take the profit and see if you can hire someone to drive for dollar for you. So now you're driving for dollars, another person is driving for dollars. So you got 2 of you driving for dollars. Make sense? So I would say put more into what already worked for you instead of trying to figure out something new. All right. So let's just say that you pull a list of, let's just say that you target tax liens and the tax lien list got you a deal. Well, I would take that list, dude, duplicate it in another city, duplicate it in another county, pull a bigger list, right? And just continue to take that money, dude, and reinvest back into it. But I would also say that, you know, take a little bit of your first deal and do something for you. Do something for you. Because you got to understand that this is not a race, it's a marathon. So you want to keep yourself excited. That's why, you know, I set a goal where when I hit 500,000 a month, and I got to do that 3 months in a row, Lon will allow me to go get another supercar. And if you follow me on Instagram, you already know what car I'll be getting. Once I hit 500,000 per month for 3 months straight, I can go get the car. And that keeps me excited. Like I wake up and I say, damn, I look at that picture, I look at that car and I say, damn, I want that car so bad. Here's the goal. Here's the target. Hit it first. So if I were you, dude, I would reward yourself along the way, but take a small chunk. For example, you know, when we closed our first deal, it was $50,000. This is the fix and flip deal. It took me, I think it took about 4 months or so. But you already know that I've been trying to figure this shit out for the last 6 months. So almost like 10 months, right? Dude, we closed that first deal. Guess what I did? I took Lon out for a nice dinner. That dinner, I think it came out to $150. Lon and I never had nice. I mean, we'd rather eat Asian food any day and any time. But it's just the feeling of being like, yeah, damn, dude. Sitting in here, people, you know, spending the money where we usually don't, right? It makes you feel kind of good, right? So I took Lon out for a nice dinner. We dress up and we go there in my Honda and we'll walk in there and I'll be like, damn, dude, this is what rich people do, huh? Came out with a little shrimp, $40 for the shrimp, huh? Motherfucker. But then you'll be like, hey, I just closed a deal at 50K. You're like, you guys know what I mean, right? So that's what I did. So let's just say that you just closed on a $10,000 wholesale deal. I wouldn't spend $5,000, dude. I would have spent like $100 out of the $10,000, right? Take $100, go buy yourself a nice pair of shoes. If you're into shoes, go buy yourself a nice pair of shoes, right? I buy my shoes at Ross. All right. So I would take a small chunk, a tiny chunk, and then go do something for yourself. Or maybe you want to do something for your wife. But I highly recommend you also do something for yourself. Whatever makes you feel good, man. Because now you'll be like, oh, damn. So when I close a deal, I will reward myself. It keeps you excited. It keeps you energized. It's almost like you refuel your tank. Because I promise you, dude, eventually you will run out of gas. You will need to stop and refuel. Refuel mean, dude, you get yourself excited. Do whatever it is for you. All right? For you. Okay? So let's move on. And then you just keep on doing it, man. Close a deal, reward yourself, put the money back into marketing, whatever it is, dude, and just keep doing the same shit. Okay? Okay. K Money said it's striving for all of the best way to lock up deals. K Money, man, for me, dude, you know what I would do, dude? Here's what I would do. I would honestly, dude, all you need to do, if you got $97, I would just go to the software, sign up for it, go to dealsformenow.com, right there, right there, sign up for the software, and go on there, dude, pull a list of vacant property. Just pull a list of vacant property in your whole entire city, your whole entire county. Go to skipandflip.com, trace the address, and just pound the phone, man. Call the owner up, or you can send them a text message. A text message can simply say, there's Skip and Flip. Go there, dude, 15 cents a skip. Skip, trace the address, call the owner, or text them. Hey, my name is John. My name is, let me see what your name is, man. Hey, my name is K Money. I'm interested in making you a free, no risk, no obligation cash offer on your property. No realtor commissions, no closing costs. I'm willing to buy the property as is. If you're interested, bam, hit me back. They call you back, get on the phone. They text you back. They're like, yeah, I'm interested. What's your offer? Great. You got a few minutes to chat? I love to go over your property with you and present you with the cash offer right now or today. Bam, get on the phone with them, talk, negotiate, lock that property in a contract. Once you get that property in a contract, start marketing on Facebook Marketplace. Market on Facebook Marketplace. Find a buyer. Find a house flipper that wants to buy, fix, and flip it. Sell that contract over to them for $20,000 to $25,000 more. K Money. Imagine if you just do this one time a month. If I can do 6 a month, you can do 1 a month. And let's just say you'll be like, oh man, Khang, I don't know if I can do 1 a month. Well, what if you do 1 every 3 months, my friend? So let's just say that you make $75,000 right now at your J-O to B. And what if you're able to bring in an extra $100,000 a year, or even an extra $75K by wholesaling one house every 3 months? The average wholesale deal, dude, is $20,000 to $25K. So what if you just close one deal every 3 months for $25,000? Bam. That's it, dude. You literally bring in an extra $100,000 working part-time, wholesaling on the side. Now you can take that $100,000, take your family on a vacation trip. Let's out of that $100,000, let's just say that you're going to take $15,000 from it, right? So, dude, if you can spend between 10 to 15% of what you make on yourself, you're in a good situation. You're in a good spot. So if you make an extra $100,000, I would say, hey, just go ahead and take 20K, man. Take your family on a vacation where they can only dream of, and just spend it. Spend that 20K. Don't worry about saving it. You already saved 80K. Take that 80K that you save, go put down on an investment property, if that's what you want. If that's all you want to do. But if you're like, hey, Khang, I want a business of my own, then I wouldn't take the 80K and go buy real estate. I would take the 80K and I would continue to build that wholesaling business up. And then to the point where you know that you can consistently close one deal a month, quit the J-O to B, and then go and start building up that business of your own. And now guess what? Now you can have your dad work for you. You can have your mom work for you. You can have your sister. Like, you can bring family on. Teach them the game. If that's what you want to do, get them involved. If that's what you want to do. But if you're like, Khang, I'm happy with where I'm at. I'm working at the JO to B. If I can bring in an extra 75, 80, 100K a year, dude, that would be awesome. Then that's what I would do then. Okay. Do. Khang really doing God's work to help, dude. I try, man. I really try. Every single day, dude, I get nasty comment, man. People wants me to like, dude, I get nasty comment, but it's okay, dude. I'm here for the people, man. Dude, K Money, I remember I got into real estate about 12 years ago, man, and I was struggling, dude. And I remember walking around my neighborhood with lawn with the wifey, and I remember looking up at the sky because I was stressing out. Right, 6 months go by, and I invested so much time, so much money, and I haven't seen any results. And I was like praying, man. I got down on my knees, in the morning, at night, in my little, in like my private room, and I was like, I prayed to God, and I like, God, show me the way, right? If you can show me the way, help me close my first deal. I promise you, when I make it to the top, I'm going to show everybody exactly how it's done. And that's why my mission is to help every single one of you escape the JO the B, because I know how miserable it is working at a place you don't like, working with people that you just don't like to work with, man. And I said, dude, I will show everybody the game, right? To help them escape the JO the B, build their own business, and become financially free. That's my ultimate mission, man. And dude, thank God I'm here, man. 12 years later, sitting here trying to help you guys one at a time. But once again, knowledge without execution is worthless. So I can be sharing with you all this information, but if you're not executing, if you're not taking action, then it's not going to work, right? Because nothing works if you don't. Dreams don't work unless you do. All I can do is provide you with the knowledge and the information, the tools, the resource. You got to put in it. You got to make it happen, man. Hey, Khang, can I use Google Voice for dialing? And which other dialer one do you recommend? So Andrew, I mean, if you're starting out, dude, if you want to use Google Voice, you can. I think we use, I got to check with my VA. I don't know what we use anymore. We used to use CarRail. Let me see if we still use CarRail. Let me check. Hey, Angeline, who do we use for our dialer? I know that we used to use CarRail. Are we still using CarRail? Okay. Like my VA did. My VA run my whole entire wholesaling business. Typically, I just go once, every day. I'll meet with them. I kind of go through what they need to do, if there's any deal or any question for me, and then they just take over. So a lot of time, I'm not too involved in the business anymore. Do you have any recommendation on how your credit should look like if you want an investment property? Yeah. So if you're talking about, for those of you, if you're looking to build, if you're looking to, later on in the future to start owning some real estate, right? Because that's the ultimate goal, right? I ran into a fan. He's from Hawaii. Him and his wife makes $150,000 a year. And I guess they've been making that for let's just say 5 years, but they got nothing to show. They have no investment property. They got nothing to show. Dude, 150,000 times 5, bro. They almost made $1 million, and they got nothing to show. Nothing to show. So so for those of you, my whole thing is, one, helps you build a wholesaling business first. So my whole thing is, once you get to the point where you can make $20,000 a month from your wholesaling business, which is 1 deal a month, after that, what you need to do is every 4 wholesale deal that you do, you keep 1. That way you're getting rich and you're building wealth at the same time. So 5 years later, you have 5 properties and you're still making $20,000 a month. And it also helps you reduce your taxes so you pay less to Uncle Sam. If you just wholesale, it's great. You're stacking the cash, but you're also paying 40% to Uncle Sam. And 5 years later, you have no property to show. Now, you don't want to be in a position where you're property rich and cash poor. I can tell you guys right now, you'd rather be cash rich and property poor. Most investor, you can go there and start talking. You can go to your network and ask. Every investors, typically, are in this two position. It's hard to find someone that's in the middle, which means they're cash rich and they're also property rich. They're either property rich, which means they own a lot of real estate, but they're cash poor. And the one that is cash poor and property rich, majority of the time, they're very stressed out. Very stressed out. Don't believe me? Network, ask, talk to people, and you will know that your boy King Kong telling you all the truth, man. So you want to be in the position where you're trying to be in the middle, but I would rather be cash rich and property poor. So for example, like Lon and I, we only have 14 rentals, but we're heavily in the bank, right? Like I could go out there and own more real estate, but Lon because she rather sleep with peace at night. Okay. But I also know I have investor friend that have hundreds of rentals, but they don't even have $1 million in the bank. They don't even have 500,000 stacked in the bank. And they're like stressing. Oh my God, we got to evict this renter. Oh my God, one of my renters just destroy my property. So they're now out there. Sometimes when you're in that situation, you will make bad and poor decision. Like you will make decisions that you will regret later on. And then they'll start to sell a piece of real estate that they're like, oh man, I shouldn't even sell that. And then they will make a decision where they now got to buy and start turning property, flip, right? Or they got to, start wholesale, right? But you always want to be in, if I had a choice, I'd rather be cash rich and property poor. I'd rather sleep with a peace of mind. I'd rather go to bed and be wake up and, oh, my renter just left the property and they destroyed it. And now I got to spend 40 G's to rehab. Okay. Like, I mean, what are you going to do? But I'm not going to stress about it because you got millions of dollars stacking away in the bank. So, and you're making, and if you're making 6-figure a month to, spit $40,000 to rehab the property, you'd be like, whatever. Right. I mean, like, what can you do? But imagine if you wake up and you get a bill for 100,000 and you only got 200,000 in the bank and you got freaking 400 or 500 rentals, you'd be like, damn, dude, like, you're starting to worry. I hope everything I share with you. Oh, what we're using right now for a dialer is for the auto dialer smartphone, smart SMRTPHONE. There we go. I'm glad I asked my VA. Otherwise, I would be giving you guys the wrong information. Lewis said, I'm refreshing the Wholesale Community Academy course right now. My mindset is ready now. Yeah, let's go. Any advice, man? I know I'm not starting from zero. Lewis, I love it, man. So, Lewis, the number one thing I will tell you, dude, what separates between a winner and a loser, dude, is right here. You see, a lot of times it's okay to be broke. But if your mindset is broken, you're hopeless. If your bank account is broken, you're okay. You're just temporary broke. But if this is broken, hopeless. Right? So if you get this fixed correctly, because your thoughts dictate your action, and your action dictates your results, right? So right here is what's important. So Lewis, if you already got your mindset right, dude, it's now, dude, it's just putting in the action, be patient, and just stay committed, dude. You already know what you need to do in the course. Just do it, dude. And I promise you the results will come. And Lewis, what if you spent the next 3 months planting the seeds? And a lot of you don't know, man, every business, there's a season. And some of you right now, your season is your planting season. So Lewis just got into wholesaling, right? He joined the academy. He's now in his planting season, which means he's calling the seller. He's planting those seeds. And eventually, dude, your planting season will come to an end, and now it's time for you to harvest. Every business, my friend, there is a season. Business can't always be good every single month. There will be a quarter where you'll be like, damn, man, everything is just going my way, right? And then you're just banking. And there will be season where you're learning, you're planting, because you're trying to learn something new. You're trying to increase your skill set. You're trying to build up your team, right? So a lot of you might be in a phase where you're building your foundation. You're planting all the seeds, and then eventually you will reap your reward. So Lewis, that's what I would do if I were you, man. If you got your mindset corrected, it just stay committed, put in the work, and be patient, and it will come, man. One deals, that's all you need, Lewis. One yes, change your life. Because once you know how to do it, you'll be like, dude, now it's just rinse and repeat, right? Because now you got the knowledge down, you got the experience, you went through the process, you closed your first deal, and the rest is history. Now, talking about this, I know for those of you who be like, hey, Khang, how can I be a part of your academy? How can I be a student? Because I'm the person that needs that hands-on coaching or mentorship. Just go to coachwithkhang.com, fill out the application, book a call with my team, and love to have you inside of the academy. Now, for those of you, if you want a little taste of what the academy is like, I will leave the link to hold on. You probably haven't seen, a lot of you probably have not seen this video, but this video will show you exactly, whoa, hold on a second. So literally this video here, I show every single one of my students how to close. Basically, I gave them a blueprint, a game plan, how to close their first deal in the next 30 days. I take I take whatever situation they're in with the amount of money they got marketing. We'll come up with a strategy specifically for them. And then I said, go execute. And then today we're going to meet again. I'm going to analyze everything they have done. And then I'm going to tweak, right? That's why being a part of like a coaching or a mastermind, it's important, because you can go back and be like, hey, I did this. Here's the results I'm getting. What do I need to do? What do I need to change? And a lot of time, if you've never been there, you just don't know. So for me to be able to analyze and be like, well, now do this, do this, do this. Okay. But I'll leave this. If you type in YouTube inside of my WTM Academy private coaching class, it should pop up. But I'll leave the link below, because a lot of you, maybe just from that video is enough for you. Okay. What else? What other questions here before we wrap it up, man? What other question? What other questions? Any more questions you guys got for me? So let me see here. Let me see if there's any question on Instagram that I get that I feel like, man, this is important. Any other questions, man? Oh, geez. Hold on a second. Let me see. Oh, yes. One last thing. For those of you who wants to learn how, step by step, how to make $20,000 a month leveraging the software, I'm going to also put a link in descriptions where I brought on Jenna, which is another investors. We're going to walk you through this software where we're going to show you what list to pull, list stack, what list to target, who to target, what marketing strategy you need to use, how to find your cash buyer, all in one. I'll leave that, dude. I highly recommend that you should check out that video and watch it, because literally gave you a free game right there. So I'll put those two video in the link in the descriptions. All right, guys, I appreciate each and every single one of you. And I wish you guys nothing but the best. If you have any questions, just comment in. I'll see you guys on the next live. Until next time, take care. And let's go get this money. I'm out.
Your little business could become a big business.
Oh, what the heck? I thought I end the live. Shoot. Oh boy.